interview is with Max and Lulu Broman. These are good friends of Briosha and I. We have a lot in common with this couple, including some similarities to the way we met. We're going to get into that today. I'll just tell you that how they met has something to do with an ayahuasca retreat in Peru. Kind of wild. And yeah, if you don't know our story, go listen to Briosha and I's story on episodes 1, 2, and 3 of this podcast, of this show, and you can get caught up on what we're doing. Next up, I want to bring my fiance Briosha down. So come down from the stairs here. Briosha and I got engaged about a month ago, and we have a challenge, the two of us. We basically said, we want to live an intentional relationship. We want to go about and do this the right way. And so we took a challenge to interview 100 couples before we get married next summer. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good to see you.
Hi.
They're clapping for you without being asked, as they should.
Thanks.
So let's get our guests of honor coming down the stairs here. Why don't you get a head start as we go? You're going to love this couple. Like I said, a lot of it, we're going to talk about their love story, how they came together. They have some really cool thoughts on relationship dynamics, how they've made it work with the two of them. And they've also experienced a loss that Lulu has never talked about publicly, but actually has talked with Briosha and said, you know what, I want to share this tonight and actually open up about this. And so we're going to do that in this very safe space again. So please give a big, warm welcome for Max and Lulu. Come on down. You know the drill. Take a seat. We hugged you up there. We'll just get right to action. Okay, how we feeling?
Good. That kava really relaxed.
Really hits the spot,
It
right?
hit the spot, yeah.
Let's start here. Lulu, where'd you get that name from? Is that your real name?
Yes. So it came from, it's super spiritual actually. So when I was born, my mom had a really hard time giving birth. So I was just not being born. They tried everything, and it's really cool because during my ayahuasca experience, I actually relived that. So much resistance.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't want to do it. I was like, do I really have to? So when my name was actually supposed to be Selena, that was, my parents went into the hospital.
You don't look like a Selena, you look like a Lulu.
I know, I'm like, I guess it could look like Selena Gomez or something. I don't know. So when my mom was really struggling, my parents are super Catholic. So they believe in this Virgin of Guadalupe. They're like, they love her. Like they have all over our house. It's everywhere. She was the goddess, I guess. I'm not really into the Catholic stuff, but my parents were like, if she's born, we want to name her Guadalupe. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, so that's where my name came from, but they never called me that, and I actually changed it as soon as I could because no one ever called me that. I didn't resonate with that name. I actually hated the Catholic Church.
So your name was Guadalupe?
It was being born,
okay.
But I always had a nickname, and then I decided I just want to be Lulu. Nobody called me that. I mean, no one's ever called me that, actually. Huh. Not even my parents.
Huh.
So
I think you do look like a Guadalupe.
do I? Well, she's come into my life a lot, actually.
Wow.
Like, I resisted her so much. The spiritual, non-physical world actually has always been there with me, and I didn't want it to be. It's not the life I chose. It's just been that.
It's just who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from, but I love how it turned into Lulu, and like that's what my family calls me. That's what my legal name is. That's just what it is. So, yeah, that's the story behind my name.
You know, I think it's funny. It's the first thing you're just going to see in common here with us. Max and I both are these white, straight-laced guys for the most part, like conservative backgrounds, and we both found these fiery Latinas, right? They have a little hippie to them. Max, it was a good decision, right?
This is the best decision of my life.
You guys have the same taste a little bit?
Yes.
I'll tell you this. This is how I met Max. I met Max a few years back, and instantly we connected. It was like, that's a good dude. And I remember one of the first nights we chatted, it was Halloween, and we were talking about dating. You were just out of a relationship at the time. I was single. And I remembered him talking to me about what he was looking for in his person. And he was so specific. And I could tell he was just so like centered and himself. And it was one of the first times in my life. And I mean, I've said on the show, like dating was my Achilles heel. I went on hundreds of first dates, wanted that so bad. It was one of the first times I remember looking at another guy and being like, he's more ready than I am. Like he's actually thought about this. And I told you that night, you two met like a week later. And then what's kind of wild is then fast forward a couple years from that, you two are an established couple, we're friends, I'm still the single guy, you were together. I see them at a Christmas party, and I remember going back to that thought, and I'm like, Max, I think I'm there. I remember where you were that night. I think I'm ready for that. I met Bree a week later.
I remember that.
Yeah, pull that microphone closer, Lulu, and then give me your version of this story here.
Okay, so yeah, we were at that Christmas party. You're over here. You're like, I feel ready. Like, I'm going to find my person. And I'm just like, honestly, I looked over at Max and I was like, Connor needs someone like me, like someone with a story, someone that he can really like provide that peace and security, and someone who will really appreciate that.
Yes.
And it's just funny because she is so similar to me. Like, we literally, our birthdays are almost the same. We did her 23andMe, looked into her ancestry. Our families are from the same state in Mexico. Like, there's just a lot of similarities. She had lost a son. I lost a daughter. So it was just funny because I'm like, okay, you guys are a little bit too vanilla. You need some
They need a little bit of
spice in there.
spice.
I won't argue with the vanilla comment. Yeah, and here's what was pretty funny too. So that Christmas party that they were at and that we were talking, she was there. She was in the room. I did not know her at that point. We think that was the first time we were in the same room together. So literally, I'm having this conversation with them while she's in the room. I did not meet her that night.
And I was looking for men, by the way.
Yeah, like we were both there to date and meet
I was
people.
single. I was looking to meet people. I don't ever even remember seeing you at all because I would have recognized you. I would have been like, he's somebody I need to talk to. So it's crazy that we were all in the same room.
Oh, I remember. Like, he pointed at a girl and he was like, I'm going to go on a date with her. What is it, tomorrow or something?
Yeah.
And I thought he was pointing at you because you were standing next to her. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know her, but like, she's cute. It ended up not being you because then months later you started dating her. And I was like, wait, I thought you went. So it wasn't the same girl, but you were standing next to her.
It's wild.
Some crazy
wild.
alignment.
Very aligned.
So your guys' story is very aligned on how you met. Let's now go back to I have that conversation with Max. I say he's ready, and then you two find each other a week later. Tell us.
Okay, so when I met Max, I had gone to Peru to do ayahuasca, it's plant medicine, the week before that. And so I went to Peru, I flew there, I was there for a week, I did 4 ayahuasca ceremonies and 2 DMT trips. So I completely was in psychosis because I had unplugged from my old reality of self-hate, worthlessness, and not believing in God to all of a sudden self-love, fully believing in God, only knowing God, and just feeling light and love all the time. So I was like, what the heck is going on?
So what made you feel like you needed to go on this ayahuasca trip, right? Because when you choose to go do ayahuasca, can you explain what ayahuasca is for
Yeah, I
everybody
mean
who doesn't know?
it's a plant medicine. It's a psychedelic that's it's intense. It's from a plant. It's a plant medicine that's been around for thousands of years. It's only found on the Amazon River. And it's a very sacred ceremonial thing that takes place. You did it in the jungles of Peru in the Amazon.
I did.
Yeah, it's not a nice
If you're gonna go do something
experience.
like that, you don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna go do ayahuasca.
No, so it's a spiritual healing center. You go to Peru, you get on a boat, go down the Amazon River for a few hours, then you arrive at this center, and it's in the jungles, completely secluded from society. And I think what really got me to that point where I felt like I needed to go heal was I was just so tired of living this in my mask. It wasn't authentic. I was a party girl. I was living, that Instagram fun life, getting flown out, going to all these parties and living that that Instagram lifestyle. And so it wasn't authentic, it wasn't real, and it caught up to me. I had been in pain, like my body was hurting for a year and a half. I had a lot of just chronic stuff going on, and there was no explanation for it. And I think the pain in my body was really what, like, I was like, okay, I cannot live like this anymore. There has to be more to life than this. I was in spiritual, physical, mental pain for a long time, but you would have never known. I had such a good mask. Like, you would have never known. So someone invited me.
And I think a lot of people actually live like that.
A lot of people do, and I can recognize it when I see it now.
Whether they even know it or not.
Yes. Because I didn't really, I mean, I knew it, but I was like subconsciously living that life.
Right.
So I booked that trip, and it healed me. Like, there's no words for the experience that I had other than I came out of that healing center a week later, and I was a full believer in God. I had literally met God. Aww. So I was now like living this life of like love and light, and it was
right.
like,
and isn't that a crazy feeling when you realize how real and how powerful the higher power is, right?
Yes, and it's so close. The non-physical is so
right
close.
Here. Our loved ones are right here.
Yes, but I think when I was 18, I had a baby, a full-term baby. She lived for 9 days, and she was born with a hypoplastic left heart, so it's like a very severe heart defect.
Yeah. Can we put her picture up?
Yeah, let's put a picture up.
Put her
name
picture
is
up of
Mia
her little girl.
Angelina,
Aww.
and she would have been like, what, 12 or something?
Yes.
Yes,
Aww.
that's her. She's a cutie.
So she had a heart defect, and
She had a
was
heart
alive
defect.
for 9 days. How old were you?
I was 18, and I was given 3 options. So you either let nature take its course, have an abortion, and she suffocated and passed away. So that, I had been carrying that pain for so long. And the day after she passed away, I woke up at my parents' house, and everybody avoided it. Like, nobody asked me if I was okay. It was too painful. And so I was just left to grieve alone.
And you didn't have your partner at that time, right?
No, he had completely betrayed me during that pregnancy. Like, he was like cheating on me with my best friend.
Not me, by the way.
Not Max. Max is like my knight in shining armor. He's perfect.
This is a redemption
Yes,
story for
yes.
Max. No.
Yes.
So, Lulu, what did that feel like, carrying a baby that you're being told isn't going to make it?
It was so hard. Like, I just did it. I don't know how to explain it. I just like got through it. I'm really good at just like getting through things. Probably really good at disassociating.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think you disassociated?
Yes, I think my whole life I'm really good at disassociating. I grew up in a home where my parents are awesome, but they are not emotionally available. And I was an emotional kid. Like, I just remember having so much emotions and not being able to talk about it. They weren't valid. And so my whole life I just like disassociated, honestly.
You put on your mask.
Yes, I put on my mask. And so, yeah, when I went to do ayahuasca, I actually thought that I would have a more like a deeper experience with Mia.
Oh.
But she didn't come at all. Like, there was nothing. I just cried. Like, I cried. It's almost like I finally felt all my feelings. And I cried so hard that like the blood vessels in my eyes all exploded.
So oh, for real?
So I like looked scary that at the jungle. I was like, I had like just red eyes and purple and like these little blood vessels everywhere.
So they say when you do ayahuasca, you're purging, right? Some people purge through crying, laughing, dancing, screaming. puking.
Yes, and I never puked, not one time during that whole experience, but I did cry a lot. And I actually had it was literally like an exorcism because I got up and I took my pants off and I did the splits and I was like, literally did the splits in every way, and I cannot do the splits. Like, this was an altered state
I
of
hope the comma
consciousness.
does that for me. I feel like I should try it.
But I just felt so much energy here, and something
wow.
told me to just get up and
In your
get it out.
womb. Wow.
And so here I am. I took my pants off. I literally couldn't control it, and I
Don't
was
worry,
like,
she won't take her
I'm
pants off
doing the
tonight."
splits in front of the shamans. And
Wow.
and that felt so relieving. Like, I literally felt like all the pain in my body, leave
Wow.
out my womb. Like, I
Wow.
don't know. It was crazy. I was literally pushing, if I was in labor, and all this pain was just leaving my body. It was so not of this earth. It was like magic. So that was really an intense experience.
And what did you come out of with the whole ayahuasca experience?
So-
what did you come out with knowing?
I came out knowing the only thing I need to do in life is be happy. That's it. I literally don't have to worry about anything else. And that was really hard because I wanted a bigger answer. I was like, no,
You're like, well, give me the blueprint.
give me the blueprint. And it
how.
was like, no, you have to be happy. As long as you're happy and just trust me, everything's going to work out. So we're leaving the retreat. And this guy that I did ayahuasca with, Michael Graziano, he literally looked at me and was like, hey, you're a queen and you need to find your king.
Oh.
Like that, you need to.
And that stood out to you.
That's the only thing that I could remember from when I was going back home on the plane. I'm ayahuasca shook me to my core. So I'm literally shaking, what just happened. And all I could think of was, you're a queen, you need to find your king. It was grounding me. And
And
I
for
get
Max.
home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty beautiful.
We got to get Max in this conversation.
Well,
now.
I'm about to. So I get home and I'm in psychosis and I'm so scared of the world. So I'm just meditating for a week and just telling myself, you're a queen, you need to find your king. And I don't know why. That was the only thing that I was supposed to be drilled into my head. So after a week, I'm okay, I feel comfortable enough to maybe get on social media. So I get on Instagram, and within a few hours, Max slides into my DMs.
Let's put this on the screen.
And you will not believe what he said. He said, I'm Max, you're a queen.
Smooth.
I was like, what the heck? Who is this man?
So Max, during her whole era where she's struggling, she lost a child, you were also partying. Max, what were you doing at this time? What did your life look like?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I had just moved back from Utah. I went to Seattle for a year to kind of reset. And it was interesting. I was really alone there, but had a lot of time to self-reflect. And like Connor was alluding to before, one of the things I really wanted in life was to have a family and to have a great partner. And I know from my parents' example that that's one of the biggest, generators that you can have in your life is your relationship. So I got really clear on the type of person that I wanted. And I had been manifesting that and trying to attract that. I read this book called The Way of the Superior Man that I love, and I live my life sort of in accordance to that. But a big thing with that is that, when you find your person, it's like women are they're alchemists. They can alchemize pain and suffering into something beautiful. And so I really felt this thing of a queen. And when I saw Lulu's face, there was a light about her. And anybody that knows Lulu, they see this light, and it's queendom. It's very powerful and elegant. And so I just kind of said what came to me. It wasn't smooth. In fact, I'm not smooth at all.
And you didn't
He's
send that
smooth.
DM to 50 girls, right? Like, let's just
Yeah,
clarify.
tell me the truth.
No.
That's not your line.
That's not my line. Yeah, it came to me and I sent it, and I was like, well, it's very unlikely. She's got 20,000 followers. And I'm like, all right, I'll just send it off and see what happens. And she answered, and it was...
Oh, the reason I answered actually was because I saw his face in my ayahuasca experience. I didn't ever meet Max. I didn't know he even existed, but I do remember seeing him in a vision, and I was like, oh, I didn't think much of it. I was like, this is a nice looking man. I'm just
So you
walking.
like saw his face, or
Yeah,
was it
so I
like
was-
his essence?
I was walking through the jungle. It was,
Okay.
yeah, my experience was super visual. I know that other people receive like downloads and
Feelings, yeah.
feelings. Mine were straight visions. And I remember his face, like, this was this man. And he just said, you're a queen. And I'm just like, what
And now
is
you're
happening?
recognizing his face,
I'm
and you just had this
recognizing his-
powerful moment with God, and so you're like, okay.
Yes. And so,
Thank you, God.
well,
Gave me a little kickstand there.
do you want to tell him about like our first date and how I told you that I had just done ayahuasca?
Yeah, 'cause you meet her at a weird time in her life. Like,
Yeah.
she's actually struggling.
I
She's
am
not coming
not
back
okay.
yet.
Yeah, she told me that she'd done ayahuasca and kind of had that cute giggle that she does. And she's like, yeah, like, I'm kind of like not here. I'm like, sweet, me either.
I said,
This
I
is
think
great.
I'm crazy. And he was like, you're like the least crazy person
He's like,
I
I'll
know.
take crazy.
And I was like, really? But like, I told him how I was feeling, and he was like, oh, you just like unblocked your crown chakra and you just need some grounding. And I'm like, what? I had not learned anything about spirituality at all. Like,
Wow.
ayahuasca just kind of like, it was the first thing that I did.
love
Max
that
just
so
coming in
much.
hard with your
No.
crown chakra.
I had never even done breath work, and he was like, let's just go to my house after. I'll teach you some breath work, and I'll take you out in nature tomorrow.
Wow.
So
very
Assume the
attractive.
clothes.
I
Yes.
trusted him so much after that because I was so vulnerable. He could have taken full advantage of me, right? Like, he could have said anything, and I would have believed it because of the state I was in. So that built a lot of trust. And now I was like, oh my gosh.
So what was the difference with you two? Both of you two had been in relationships before that hadn't worked.
Right.
But then when you guys connected, it was on, right? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't look back. So what was different?
I can answer that. I think a lot of people chase flamethrowers in their life, and not just in relationships, but also in life. It's just like we're addicted to immediate gratification. And I think a lot of relationships fail for the same reason, is that we're so addicted to that high that we're constantly chasing. And a lot of my previous relationships, the people were great, it wasn't their fault, but we were focused on the flamethrower. That feeling of heat that you get that's exploding out, and it's so exciting and awesome. And one of the things that I'd realized on my little sabbatical to live on my own, completely away from my family and everything, was that, I really learned the value in myself, and I promised myself that I was going to make somebody earn me. And, you don't hear that from men a lot, and that's not a cocky thing. But I really kind of got this, this download of like a pilot light, and that I wanted the pilot light, not the flamethrower. And so it's like, when I met Lulu, I felt that pilot light click on. But instead of engaging in this flamethrower, we sort of subconsciously agreed that it was like, no, let's make each other, let's earn this. And there's an author, and his name's actually Arthur, tongue twister, but Arthur Brooks. And he talks about how happiness, like one of the things that supersedes happiness is satisfaction, which is overcoming hard things, and specifically together. And so we really made each other earn our love. It was months of, not being closed down, but having my guard up in some regard of like, hey, we're gonna make each other earn this. And that pilot light has grown, and we were able to build a good framework in our relationship because it was a little bit less emotional at the beginning. so we could really get clear on what are the things that we want. How are we going to systemize this relationship like a business to scale it, to do the things that we want, and to be happy. And I think that's one of the things I'm most grateful for that we did, was I was so certain that I wanted to be with this person that I wasn't too eager to go after the flamethrower. And what's been really, really amazing is that that investment has paid off exponentially for me. Is that now there's this everlasting bonfire that keeps growing, and it's really easy to manage, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like Lulu has been such an awesome partner, and I'm really proud of myself how I've shown up too. But I think both of us were not perfect in other relationships, but that framework that we built has allowed us to operate really smoothly in our relationship and accomplish some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, one of the things that Max, he forced me to be vulnerable, which I needed that, but he kept asking me about my past and my traumas, and I'm like, why do you care? Like, that's the past. I'm like, can we just like live in the present moment?
Can we just throw that under the bed?
Can we just pretend I'm like perfect and I don't have any trauma, because that's what I'm really good at? And he was like, no, like if I can't get to know you on a deeper level, if I don't know your traumas and I don't know what triggers you, then this relationship isn't going to work out, and it's not going to work.
He wasn't going to take you for the mess.
He wasn't going to take me, and so I was like so mad. I was like, he's just trying to be nosy into my life, and like, why does he care so much, and blah, 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 blah. So I opened up about Mia and her passing away, and how I never went to therapy and never dealt with it, and how every relationship after that was just really toxic. And we went to Hawaii, I think it was like 3 months into our relationship, and we did a little psilocybin trip, and he was like, can I spiritually...
Let's be honest, it was LSD. Just wanted to...
Hey, I don't care what you guys do.
It was a little bit of LSD, and it was actually a lot. It was a triple dose.
Oh, come on. He was trying to save
No.
you.
It was a triple dose, and we literally
I'm
almost
pretty sure
died.
we killed a guy. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It was,
Okay.
It was very intense. And in the middle of it, we're like, we don't know if we're going to make it out of this, right? And he goes, I want to spiritually adopt Mia Angelina, if that's okay with you. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, I want to take all of you. I don't just want like this version of you. I want all of you. And I was just so shocked. I was like, what? Like, I needed him. Like, I needed your deepness, like your soul.
Well, that's got to feel really, really, honestly, a little bit wild for you, especially going from no stability, going from no support, grieving 1,000% on your own, and now you're with somebody who is safe and real and raw, and he wants to take on your grief too.
And it was so mind-blowing to me, because I had even been married in my early 20s, and that person never ever even asked me about that. And then my boyfriend after that never asked me about that either. And then I have this man here who wants to know everything about me and spiritually adopt my daughter. And I'm like, it was just a lot.
That's really beautiful.
It was a lot, and it was really beautiful, and it really opened me up and helped me stop avoiding the pain so much.
Yeah. I've loved this conversation already, because I think this was our hope really with this show, of showcasing dynamics of different couples, right? So like, if you were to just sit back and listen to the two of you talk so far, right? Like, Max has compared things to running a business and the foundation, and you want to scale this and this and that. It's just like, right? And then you have Lulu, who's changing her name to Lulu and talking about, the stars and all the dates and all that, right?
Super woo-woo.
But it works, right? Like, Lulu, woo-woo Lulu. Is that what you just said?
That's going to be my podcast one day.
Hashtag that, woo-woo Lulu. And like, businessman, serious Max. Like, you've made it work. How?
I think when you get into a relationship, like, the current state that you're at is just going to get amplified. And one of the things I really value in Lulu is And one of the best lessons she's taught me, which seems simple and common, but sometimes common knowledge is not commonly known, is that optimism and being happy is a choice. I'm inherently a problem solver, and I like to kind of run towards the storm. And oftentimes that gets a little dark because you're just going, what's the next problem to solve? What can I do? And I really valued Lulu's lightness. And she, I wouldn't say runs away from the storm, but maybe floats away. And I love that because she taught me this.
Not the buffalo. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a balloon. But she really taught me how to be optimistic and how to choose optimism. And, a lot of times we've really gone deep on Mia and that pain. And one of the things that I've actually realized is that Lulu has chosen to be happy for Mia instead of focusing on the pain of the loss, which, there's a book from Michael Singer called Living from a Place of Surrender that talks about how, it's so much more beautiful to focus on the time we had with people and the things that we did and what came from it. And I feel like Lulu in that situation chose to focus on what she could control and chose to be happy, which that's some warrior shit. It really is. And the reason our relationship has worked is because we've embraced who we are. And I've decided that, hey, yes, Lulu, I might not be a business partner with Lulu, but I really value what she's good at. And since you made me this guy, in business, what do? You take somebody and you specialize them in what they're good at. And it's the same thing in a relationship where it's I'm not going to try to make Lulu who I am. I just want her to blossom as who she is, and then I can be myself, and we work together to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see why we've connected here, right? Because that's what I say about Bree. What Bree does for me is she helps me relax.
Yeah.
And the gift that is in a partner, right? Because you don't want to find your exact same person with the same background and stuff and all that.
You would go crazy if you found another Connor Delaney.
Oh, no,
Easy.
seriously, Max. No.
Both of you two going after it. Probably, right? But that, learning how to do exactly what you just said of, hey, what makes you two different is probably what the other person could benefit from,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a pendulum swing, right? She's become more like me in the last year, and I've become more like her in the last year, and I think we're both happy with that,
Yeah.
right? And I love seeing that dynamic in action.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you choose to be with someone who is kind and shows up with integrity and consistency, you're not just choosing a person, you're choosing a standard. And I think that your partner is a declaration of what you believe you deserve. So it's when you make a choice to be with the person you are, and it's a good person, it literally, me and Bree have both experienced, it rewires your nervous system, it rewrites your story, and it changes your life. And
it allows you to be able to feel safe enough to grieve and to feel your traumas that you might have.
And to talk about, I've never talked about myself like this. I've never been open. I've never, wanted to share ever. And now that I feel safe enough, and that's thanks to Max. He's brought so much safety into my life. When I met him, I was like, hey, I'm not good at this. I'm good at this, but I'm not good at this. And he's like, okay, forget about everything you're not good at. Let's just focus on what you're good at. And let's just focus on that.
Optimize
and
that.
I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so seen and safe. And we're literally opposites
Yeah.
in every way.
To speak on that, though, I think something I'm really a big believer in, and it doesn't matter who you are, but any successful relationship, I believe there's got to be a masculine and feminine polarity at play, and that in certain times you sort of rotate even, right? I went through a season last year where it was extremely stressful with my business. we're having wild success, but I'm working 80 hours a week and getting sick all the time. And Lulu had to show up and kind of step into her masculine and carry the boat and take care of the baby because I kept getting sick. But that you sort of have this emotional acuity in your relationship where you can decipher what your partner needs and when you need to step into that. And Lulu's incredible at that. You know, she's fully embraced the role as a mother, and it's really beautiful to watch. But she's also really embraced the role of being a supporter without losing her power, which I think a lot of women get confused about because they're like, well, if I support, then I'm not powerful. And it's like, no, actually, it's like oftentimes the people that don't need to be the center of attention are the most powerful, right? They're the ones that are willing to put their ego aside for the common goal, which to me is more powerful than more of the outward appearance of the masculine, you know, and I love that with her. And she's really been a huge advocate of that trade-off that we have. And I think it's a huge reason that our relationship has magnified, and that another reason that our business has done well too, because of that sort of agreement that we have.
Yeah. You talk about you had a kid, so little Stormy,
Stormy
just
Bella.
brought into the world. Tell it, Stormy Bella, that's right, which is beautiful storm.
Yeah, Bella translates to Bella in Spanish, which is beautiful. So she is my beautiful storm.
I love that.
And she's
How
a
has that
perfect
changed your
mixture
life?
between you both.
Our life has gotten like a million times better. It was already good, and then this beautiful baby just came in, and we're just getting dopamine hits every single day with her. Like, she is so happy and cute.
And you guys got pregnant before you got engaged, is that right?
No, we got pregnant right after.
Oh,
We found out,
okay.
yeah, we got engaged, and then like 2 weeks later, you know, she drops the
Oh my
the
gosh.
thing on
Yes.
my chest, and I'm like, oh shit.
I was like, so we were already
like,
like
"You're locked in
starting
bed."
to wedding plan. We had a date. We're like, let's get married in May, blah, 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 blah. And then I just never got my period.
Periods have to happen for weddings.
Yes,
Everyone
so-
knows that.
So yeah, we are
So
still.
hold off on the wedding just a little bit.
Yes, we are back to planning our wedding. We're gonna get married next May.
Aw.
So it's been really exciting.
This May?
Next May.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
2026.
Wait, May is a month away.
Yeah, we
duh.
want a dream wedding, so it's gonna take a little bit to plan it. So
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second. So the two of you, as intentional as you are, putting a lot of thought into your wedding, right? And more meaning to that than just a ceremony or this. Talk to us through a little bit of how do you approach your wedding, and how do you think that might change your dynamic, or improve it, or will it stay the same?
I think it. I don't know.
So, I really believe in ceremonies. You know, like in human history, there used to be like a rite of passage where it's like, I'm going to go on a walkabout as a man and I'm going to come back a man. Or, you know, I'm going to go and do this and then I come back as a woman. We don't really have that anymore in
As
our
a man.
society. Or just anybody. Like, there's not these very clear transitions. Like, you've got like graduation and then really the only other one is marriage. And so I really love the ceremonial aspect of a marriage because I had been married in a courthouse before that wasn't a real marriage. It was more of a transactional thing. And it really just hurt my soul because there was this confusion between my 3D Max was married, but my 5D wasn't. And it was really conflicting and confusing. So for us, the ceremony is very much about this rite of passage into becoming a divine union. And it's really beautiful when I think of it that way, that there's going to be this transition. And just like the pilot light, you know, we've wanted to act like we're married. We have a kid, and it's kind of been difficult to not do that. But we've set boundaries with ourselves of like, hey, we're going to earn this right. We're gonna earn this marriage together and set it up the way that we want and be very intentional about it. So there's nothing like specifically in our ceremony that's anything to brag about, but more just the ideology behind it of how important the ceremony aspect is.
Right, the intentionality, and also appreciating how spiritual it is too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget that weddings are very spiritual.
Very spiritual. And Max is so spiritual. Like, I love this man because he is like so 5D. And
I
like,
didn't even know I'm 5D. I'm processing
you've
right now.
got
I'm like,
2D,
there's
you've
3,
got
there's 4, I
it's
guess.
the spirit world. And
What's the 4th though?
the 4th, I think, is
Time?
probably
Is
somewhere.
That's
that
when
what's
you start
going
like
on?
thinking outside the box a little bit. You're
Yeah, let's
just
not
working
get
with
into
3D
quantum
only.
physics right now.
You're the one that said
I know.
5D.
Okay, we can go into this. This is going to be a whole other podcast show.
What I meant by that is he's spiritual. He understands spirituality. He understands manifestation. He actually like learned it from his dad as a kid, and I learned it as an adult from a book, you know.
And my mom, she's in the audience.
Yeah, she's a spiritual queen, but Max understands. Like when I'm watching the Kardashians and Selling Sunset, he thinks it's so funny because I'm so into it, but that is like a normalization ritual for me. Like it's a drill for my subconscious and teaching myself that this level of life exists. People are living it and it's allowed because that's what I want to experience, and I know, therefore I will. And he understands that. You know, if I would have told this to an ex-boyfriend I had, he would have been like, you're insane.
Okay, we're going to rewind the tape, and I just want to clarify for everyone listening at home. You watch the Kardashians as a manifestation tool to
Yes.
show yourself that is to visualize it, that it's real, and that you put yourself in that.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
allowed.
that's brilliant.
It exists.
That is
and
brilliant.
It's a mind movie.
It's a mind movie, exactly. So when I'm watching it, I am into it. And he thinks it's so funny. He's like, you just love this, don't you? I'm like, you don't understand what
Well,
I'm doing.
he's supporting it.
This is like a subconscious drill. Like,
This
We're in
clip's going
training right
viral
now.
right now.
We're in
Lulu, I
training.
think that clip right there might be our like first viral fully
Well, yeah,
engaged
it's
moment.
interesting because the way that you consume content, right, the intention behind it can have a much different way of, it can affect the way that you digest it. So if your purpose of ingesting content is to grow and you have an intention behind that,
Yeah.
your brain uses it differently, right? Some people sit there to just be a potato on the couch and get roasted. But, you know, in this situation, Lulu's like, I love this, but how do I make this a positive? She's like, well, I want a private jet, so I'm just going to assume this is me, and I'm going to put my name in my phone as Lulu Kardashian, and
Did-
Stop.
do you?
take that on.
Stop.
That's
Which
the
just
which
story.
one
Not
which one are you, Lulu?
Kim probably.
I didn't even have to ask. Of course. You're
I love
like,
her.
I'm the sixth one that no one knows
would
about.
be Kris Jenner for sure. She is a Scorpio. Me and Brie are
Okay.
Scorpios.
All right. So tell us this. Let's stick with this thought as we're rolling through here. Being that specific about where you want to go, what you want to be, obviously that's how you're looking at your life and all of it. So how do you plan as a couple? Where do we want to be in a year? Where do we want to be in 5 years? Want to be in 20 years?
So I think the highest level of intelligence is emotional acuity. So how do you decipher emotions in each situation? And so what we've done is we have a weekly meeting on Wednesday, which we're not perfect at it or anything, but we sit down and we try to think about like what emotions do we want to be feeling on the regular? Because again, the flamethrower versus the pilot light, it's like a lot of the stuff, it's like, oh, we want a house. It's like, okay, well, I've seen my parents go and get a lot of the three-dimensional goals, and they kind of get over it quick. And it's like, okay, well, we want to feel emotions. So a lot of our manifestations are based around what kind of people do we need to be on a daily basis to go and get that. And so one of the things that we do is we will say, I call it gaslighting the universe. So I'll be like, I'm so grateful that, you know, I wake up every day and have this explosion of optimism and energy. I don't actually feel that way, but by saying I'm grateful, I'm assuming that I already have it, and I'm telling my body that I have that emotion attached to it. And our bodies respond to emotions a lot better than language. So we'll go through and say, well, we're so grateful that we have $500 million. And it's like, wow, that's a lot. But it's like, what does that emotion feel like to me? And then I can chase that emotion a lot easier because I've never seen $500 million in my bank account. But I can assume what that emotion feels like and go after that.
Because of the Kardashians.
Because of the Kardashians, same idea. So when you say we plan things, like, yes, we have goals and stuff, but it's much more emotion-based.
I like that.
We call it the Gaslight 3000. It's a tool. Just gaslight yourself and the universe, and reality really does bend to your desire.
And that's how you guys both feel you manifested each other, right?
Yes.
You, Max, were very particular and specific in what you wanted in a woman. And Lulu, were you also manifesting Max and his qualities that he has?
Oh, yeah. I even wrote down, like, I want a guy that's been an athlete, D1 athlete. That's what I want.
Interesting. Wow.
And here he is.
That was it.
And
Well, I pulled my hamstring on recreational kickball last night, so the D1 career is over.
You know, I think this interview has been fascinating to me, really. I mean, I know and love both of you, but to talk like this is not typical conversations we would have. But what I think is so interesting is you two have both arrived at the same destination. You're literally saying the same things where you're going, but the ways and the routes in which you've gotten there, like, he's not watching the Kardashians, I can tell. He's reading this book after another and watching History Channel about the initiations 2,000 years ago.
A walking encyclopedia.
Yes, but your reasons for doing it are the same, just the different paths. And I think that's such a cool lesson to be taught of, like, there's not one path. You know, one of the things we said when we wanted to do this show at the beginning was be curious, not judgmental, right? And so go throughout life with, like, hey, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from other people? And
From every single couple and every single story.
Yeah. Two people manifesting together is way stronger than just one. So I
And
feel
also
like
manifesting for somebody else.
Yes.
Planting positive seeds for somebody else is a lot more powerful than yourself. And just trusting that will come back to you, or maybe it won't, but that you do it anyways. And so when you have a partner, it's so beautiful because you can manifest for their happiness and not focus on yourself and trust that they'll do the same for you. And it creates this really cool sort of hamster wheel effect that speeds up a lot faster when you're passing it versus pulling it.
yeah,
Totally.
I love that. Let's end here. I want to give both of you the chance to give some advice for people listening. Lulu, let's start with you. You held your trauma in for a long time.
yes.
I've heard the two of you talk about how you've been kind of surprised at even how Bree talks about it so openly, as fresh as it is, her loss, right? What advice would you give to people who have something like that they have let just be buried in there?
I was really inspired by Briosha because she was putting herself out on social media and just sharing about her pain and trying to help people. And at first, I did not understand why she was doing that. I wasn't judging. I was just trying to understand, like, why would you do that to yourself? That's so painful. Like, why wouldn't you just, like, move on from it? And the more I got to know her, I realized that she is charging at the storm. The storm is there. And what I did was I tried to avoid the storm. I tried to go around it. I tried to, like, pretend
Hide it
it
under the
wasn't there. Like, the storm was always there, though. The weight was always there.
Always follows you.
It always follows you. And so I really have healed so much since I started sharing about it and being vulnerable and just not holding it in. Like, it's not good for you. It's not good for your body. If you've ever read the book, The Body Keeps Score,
Yes.
like, things can get really heavy. And if you don't have anyone to talk about it with, like, go to therapy. Like, my parents really draw the line at mental illness. Like, that is not real for them. So I didn't think that I ever needed that. But I totally did. I think I would have healed a lot sooner. I don't think my 20s would have been so painful, even though they looked like so fun. I was in a lot of pain. So yeah, just not holding your pain in. Like, talk about it, go to therapy, get it out. Like, your body doesn't need to hold all that because your cells are holding it in. And like, the more you can get it out, the more you can heal, and the faster you can receive blessings, because you really do block yourself from a lot of blessings when you just pretend that your pain isn't there.
That's really powerful.
So thanks for inspiring me.
Oh, that was very sweet of you. Thank you.
Max, you were in a position in my life that I looked up to how you approached dating and how you approached finding your person with such intentionality. And I realized like I wasn't there. So I'm going to ask you a question for people out there that are maybe looking for a relationship, looking for their partner. They want that in their life, but they just can't seem to find that. And it's also the thing you cannot force. The most important decision in your life. Who are you going to end up with? And the thing you have the least control over. Who are you going to end up with? What would you say to that person?
I love that. Success leaves clues. And one of the clues that I've seen with successful people, let's change success with wealthy, because you can be rich and not have the stuff, but to be wealthy, it's a long haul. And almost every wealthy person I've seen also has a really strong relationship. And it's like, okay, well, why is that? And I think if you look at relationships like the stock market, what do really good investors do? They unemotionally invest into a bear market. When your partner's struggling and they need you, like, that's when you invest. That's when you take the time to show up for them and feed that subconscious so that when you're in a bull market, you get to reap the benefits of those dividends. And I think for people that are not finding their person, it's like, okay, well, what are you doing in your day-to-day life? And are you truly deserving of that person? Like, ask yourself, will you actually show up when they're down? Are you ready to invest when you have nothing left and they need you? And if the answer is yes, like, you will have a beautiful relationship. Don't be a tally-ho. Like, don't tally up, well, they've done more than me, or I've done whatever, right? It's like you are willing to just fully invest and bet on the future with that person. And every person that I've seen that's done that, they do the same thing in the stock market. They're great investors, and they end up being successful. So that's my advice.
Lulu, you're a fantastic investment.
Yes, she is.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
I always
love
knew
it. That's it. I love it. Stock's on the rise.
The stock is on the rise.
I love it. Briosha, you have a gift for Lulu.
Yes. Lulu, thank you for coming on the show. I love you so much.
I love you.
Really value your friendship. Thank you for opening up about your daughter, Mia. I know that wasn't easy, and I know that's pretty fresh for you. So I would love to gift you a butterfly necklace.
Oh my gosh.
And I hope every time you wear it, it reminds you of your sweet little angel on the other side. And to know that she's always near.
Yep.
Mia and Romeo.
Got it all.
Cute.
I love that. Love that symbol. All right. Well, fantastic. I appreciate it. Let's end with our segment that we do for fun. The minute to win it. You own Freedom Turf.
All right, let's see
You
it,
got
Max.
60 seconds, Max, for first-time listeners. The way we end every show, we believe in the law of abundance. And so anyone that comes and pours into you and our community, we're always going to do anything we can to help build and do what help support it in any way. But rather than doing some big sales pitch, I'm going to give you 60 seconds right now. This also is going to be posted on social media, which just happens to be the same amount of time, and you can post a YouTube short. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Freedom Turf. Okay, we're an outdoor living space. And what is our mission? It is to elevate people's state. So when you go into your backyard and you're having a hard day, if you can just see this beautiful, incredible yard that's perfect, and we mainly focus on artificial grass, so it's always perfect, you just can go about your life a little bit easier. And one of the things we teach our sales reps is that we're not selling artificial grass or landscaping. You are selling that emotion and elevating somebody's daily life. And that's a really beautiful thing to give to somebody because it's art that they get to frame memories around. And it's been a really, really awesome company to grow. It's an industry that needed a disruption. And we've brought a lot of modernization and technology and AI and software into it. But the coolest thing has been the human generation and growth that's come from it.
Wow, that was good. Give him a round of applause.
Freedom turf.
Hey, Bree, we've got a bunch of dirt in our backyard right now.
I
We
know.
might need to fix this.
I kind of like
do.
perfect grass.